In this slideshow, I will discuss our first week's readings and assignments. When we think about campaigns and elections, there are a lot of questions we can try to answer. So each week's readings will revolve around a critical question in our field. This week's readings center around who decides to run for office and when and where they run. Our news article describes a recent special election in Georgia that many of you are probably familiar with. This election illustrates the significance of our research question this week. As you may recall, the Georgia 6th Congressional District has historically been held by prominent Republicans, including Newt Gingrich and most recently Tom Price. This district has not been competitive in recent decades. However, this year something different happened. 18 candidates ran for the seat vacated by Price, and a Democrat nearly won the first election with a little bit less than 50% of the vote, forcing a runoff. Why did this happen this year? Why did so many candidates emerge in this race at this time in this location? How much did the political context and the lack of an incumbent impact what we saw in the 6th district? Reading the peer-reviewed articles for Sign this week should give us some ideas about this recent election and what we might expect to see during the runoff. Specifically, the readings speak to the strategic choices that candidates make about running. Okay, these choices typically revolve around their expectations about the probability of victory. So what factors do candidates consider when they think about running for office? As you'll see in the readings, we think candidates consider the timing of the election, the location of the district, as well as the local and national political context. For example, is this district a swing district or is it a safe Republican or Democratic district? How popular is the sitting president? What are the national economic and political conditions? Is there an incumbent running? Finally, some of the readings suggest that these considerations are further complicated by candidate identity, specifically that women and non-white candidates experience these constraints differently. I would suggest for this week reading the news article first, then reviewing the peer-reviewed articles with an eye towards explaining the 6th district. Now let's talk about the weekly assignments and schedule. First, I'd like to talk about the discussion board. So that we can engage in a solid, cohesive class discussion, it's important that one thread be used for each week's discussion. Once a student begins the discussion, all other leaders and students should post on the same thread. Second, it's not necessary to answer every question in a single post. And sometimes lengthy posts actually discourage discussion among students. I would encourage you all to post multiple answers to the questions you find interesting and engage in more back and forth discussion with your classmates, just like you would in an in-person class. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about what you should focus on in your discussion posts to get the best grades possible. The primary distinction for students who get A's rather than B's on the discussion board is demonstrating that they've done the readings and their responses. I focus on quality in my grading, meaning that engaging the readings and engaging with other students is the most important consideration in your posts. An A student will typically post multiple times each week, but they will focus on critical comments that clearly demonstrate that they have thought about the readings. If you would like more feedback on your discussion posts and grades, please let me know and I'd be happy to go over it with you. For your tasks and assignments this week. On Monday, before midnight, the discussion leaders must begin a discussion board with at least 2 to 3 questions posted per leader. I will serve as the discussion leader this week, so please see the posted questions. On Tuesday before midnight, your critical analysis papers are due. Wednesday by midnight is the deadline to post responses to the discussion board questions. I will grade whatever is posted by Wednesday, but I encourage you to start a little earlier than Wednesday so that you can demonstrate your knowledge with the discussion amongst the class. On Thursday before midnight, your peer feedback on your assigned paper is due. I also want to remind you that when you complete your reaction papers and feedback, they must be posted on the discussion board so that your classmates can see them. However, you must also upload them in the course Dropbox so that I can grade them. Now, since the first week is really an adjustment period, I will review your papers and your discussion board posts and tell you the grades you would have received. But these grades will not count towards your final course grade. Again, this first week is really an opportunity to get acquainted with the course schedule, assignments, and grading expectations. Finally, I'm happy to schedule one-on-one meetings to discuss your paper topic, questions, or concerns. There are a few ways to meet with me, including online, phone conversations, and face-to-face meetings. To set a time to meet, please email me directly at sgershon@gsu.edu. I truly want to help you succeed in this class, and I look forward to speaking with you. Thank you.